Hi Stampers, this is Trevis. Thanks for watching today for Video Friday. And so for the month of May, our theme on Fridays is from simple to spectacular. And so what I do is I have a card, I make a card, a cute card, very simple card, and then I step it up and make a spectacular card using basically the same products. So let's get started today, and I will show you the products we're going to be using and the card and how it's going to, and then you can watch how it's going to evolve. So the card that I made is this card, okay? It's a textured floral card, and it's a birthday card. I stamped using Bubble Bath, Berry Burst, and Granny Apple Green. I also used Memento Black for the sentiment, and all of these stamps are from Textured Floral. So this stamp set right here, it's carried over to the new catalog. I never use retired product. Well, never's a strong word, but I rarely, very rarely use retired product in my videos. Okay, so we have the dies that also coordinate with this. 14 stamps in the stamp set, photopolymer, and 13 dies in the coordinating textured floral dies. Okay, so those are in the annual catalog. Let's step it up and turn this card into something spectacular. So we're going to use the same color card base. This is Bubble Bath. We're going to fold this. This is 5.5 by 8.5. All right, so we have our card base. Now I have the second piece, which is 5 by 3 3/4, which is going to layer on top. But before I layer that, I'm going to do some stamping. I am going to do the flowers as I did here in Bubble Bath. Okay, so we have 2 flowers here from the stamp set. I'm going to go ahead and stamp those on the cardstock. I have both of them mounted on the same block. Sometimes I'll do that if I just have a, bigger block handy. And the smaller one. Okay, so we have our stamps. Now I'm going to clean that. Clean those stamps off. Okay, and now I am going to show you a little bit of pre-work that I did. Okay, so on this card, I stamped the bigger flowers straight onto the cardstock. In this card, I actually stamped them on white and I die cut them. I also added the center, what they call stamen. I entered that, went ahead and stamped that in black. So I have those ready to go. I also stamped the leaves in Granny Apple Green and cut those out ahead of time. I did cut out one of these from the dies. I don't know if I'm going to use it or not, but I might. Okay, so we are all done with these pads. Okay, and now what I'm going to do is I am going to run this through an embossing folder. The embossing folder that I chose is Distress Tile. This is a 3D folder, and I'm going to go ahead and run this through. And since it is a 3D, you need to use your, and it's too big for the mini cut and emboss, so you need to use your regular cut and emboss. You're going to use plate 1. You're going to make your sandwich by adding plate 4, the gray plate. Okay, so you're going to run this through your cut and emboss. And this is going to texture not only the cardstock, but also what you already stamped. So the flowers are still there, but they are now textured. Okay, so I want to add a little, I guess I would call it ink to the embossing area. And what I want to do, how I want to do that, I'm going to get my one of my blending brushes, the pink one. And I am just going to add a little bit of color to the edges. Take this bracelet off. This drives me crazy when I'm trying to stamp and it's clink, clink, clinking. I'm not going to add a lot of color down here because I already have the flowers, but I am going to add it. So what happens when you do this is it really gives it a distressed look. Just adds a little bit of interest to something that you already embossed. Okay, so now I'm going to go ahead and add my flowers. I'm going to keep the same design that I had before. I have my leaves, so I'm going to go ahead and glue these down. I think I'm going to pop them up. I don't think I need to pop them up, but I do need to add a little liquid glue. The reason I'm adding liquid glue is because this is textured and this will help these flowers stick to the texture. Okay, and now I have this, and I see it didn't exactly cut this perfect when I die cut it, so I'm going to trim this off a little. Trim some of this white off. Sometimes as it's running through, it'll move right at the last second. Drives me crazy when there's too much white showing. Okay, so we have that. We're going to glue these down. I think I'm going to glue them over a little. I'm actually going to put this behind here. There we go. That. And then this one also. This one's cut pretty good. Don't need to do any adjusting to this one. Okay, same thing over here. I'm going to stick this under a little bit. If I can. Before it's glued completely down. Maybe. There we go. I think I got it. There we go. Okay, so I have some leaves going on. Okay, so now I have this piece. And in the very end, I'll decide if I want to use this. But already, I think it's taking on a spectacular look. Now, I want to stamp my birthday blooms on some bubble bath cardstock. And I'm going to go ahead and use my black ink for this. Birthday blooms for you. And then, done with the black ink, I'm going to use my Heartfelt Hexagon punch. I love, love, love this punch. Same as I have on this card. Except now, I'm going to run this back through the embossing folder. So it's going to be textured also. Just going to run this through the embossing folder. I'm all about the texture today. Okay. Now, before I pop this up, I'm going to layer this a little bit on a piece of Berry Burst cardstock. And the way that I did this is I'm just going to cut this in half. So I punched an extra one out. Okay. I'm going to put some glue on the back of this sentiment. And I'm just going to layer this a little bit behind. Just a smidge behind this one. And it's going to look like the whole thing is layered, when really it's just partially layered. Okay, just like that. And now I'm going to add a few dimensionals. Those are tiny little dimensionals. Okay, now before I glue this down, I'm going to decide if I want to add that greenery. And if I do, I'm going to glue it down before I stick this down. Too many times I've stuck things down and then been sorry. Okay, so this is going to go here, but would this look good if I had another piece of this sticking out? Ooh, I kind of like it. Actually, I do actually like it. So what I'm going to do now is put just a tad of pieces of little tiny drops of glue on here. like that. Okay, and I'm going to stick this down. So this is actually going to hang over, just like this one does. So I have a little wiggle room. So I'm going to stick this down right there. And then this, my sentiment will now go on top, right there. And now I can glue the whole thing together. Again, using my liquid glue. You don't have to use liquid glue. I mean, Stampin' Seal Plus would actually work really well for this because it sticks really, really well. But I like liquid glue. And it's my card, so you can do what you want when it's your card. Okay, it does hang over just a little, so I'm going to snip this off. No one will know. A little piece of that got snipped off. Okay. And I did use some sequins on here, and these are the adhesive-backed sequin trio. So there's Berry Burst, Pretty Peacock, and White. And so I'm going to decide, do I want to use the peacock? I think I might use the white, actually. So I think I'm going to use the white sequins. On this card. Okay, so now you can see two very similar ideas, but simple to spectacular. I hope you enjoyed this video today, and I hope you'll watch again on next Friday when I do another one. My name's Trevis Bossler, Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in St. Louis, Missouri. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you on Tuesday for another video.